It's literally winter in Sweden, and this is the weather we have. Although it's not all grey skies today, at least, like it has been for the rest of the winter. So that's something. Very disappointing weather. Anyways, I'm not good with tech reviews, and I'm pretty sure I don't know like half what all these buttons do still on this camera. But what I can do is give my honest thoughts about using the OM System OM5 after fumbling around with it for a year. So this little camera here, the OM System OM5, is apparently the most disappointing camera in the world. Or at least when you read the reviews online. But here's the thing. What people actually complain about is no USB-C, which is, sure, it's outdated. The camera is pretty small, so it doesn't fit everyone. And the battery life is kind of bad. But if that's all what people complain about, then maybe it's actually pretty amazing. Welcome back, guys, to a new video. I'm Jimmy, a hobby enthusiast, documentary style photographer. And I've been using this camera, the OM System OM5, for about the whole 2024. Today I want to reflect on my first year with this camera, share my experiences, and maybe change a few minds along the way. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, or outside. As many of you know, who's been following this channel for a while, I came from a full-frame Sony a7 Mark II. And when the IBIS broke on that camera, I decided I wanted to continue photographing and I wanted a camera. And I found Micro Four Thirds. And this, OM System OM5, I've been saying that a lot this video thus far, was the camera I went with. Okay, so I said we were going to talk about the elephant, which is the bad things about the camera. And the lack of USB-C is kind of, I mean, it's a new camera. USB-C should have been there. Battery life is so-so. Not good, not bad, in my opinion. And it uses the old menu system, contrary to the newer system, menu system on the OM1, for example. Truthfully, I haven't had a single issue using micro USB for what I need it for, if that makes sense. When I get home, I charged my camera with micro USB. I don't even own a separate battery charger. I just plug it into my PC. I never move my the photos from my memory card via micro USB. I always use a separate, like dongle thingy that you plug in, which gives me a great speed to upload. But I would believe using micro USB to upload the photos to your PC is really slow. That said, let's talk about ergonomics for just a second. And this camera is really small, and for me it's perfect bare-handed. But as soon as I wear gloves, I wear a size 9 EU, it becomes harder to use. We haven't had a weather where I actually need gloves more than a couple of times, so I've yet to actually try it out properly. But I guess it's just worth keeping in mind. The light completely disappeared. Now it's just grey again. I jinxed it probably.
Gör du?
Nah.
Alright, so let's flip the script. Why are you so hairy?
And talk about why I love this little camera. And yeah, I realize it sounds like I'm gonna write a love letter to the camera again. But to be fair, it's hard not to when it's this good. First off, just look at this thing. It's so portable, it's so small and light, and for the same reason but opposite,
why I said it's a bad thing, it's also one of the better things because it doesn't take up any space and you don't feel held down during a whole day of shooting. So that's my first reason of loving this camera. And then there's the weather sealing. I've taken out this camera in rain, snow, and everything in between, and it's never let me down. And don't get me started on the image stabilization. I came from DSLR back in the days, and the A7 II was my first camera with IBIS. So rocking this camera with a 5-axis stabilization, which is 6.5 stops of compensation, and you can get another half stop to 1 stop by adding a Sync IS lens to the camera. I think the 12-100 f4 has that function. So, I mean, what more can you ask for handheld shooting? And then we have features as the handheld high-res mode, live ND, bracketing. And I'll be honest, I'm not using this camera to its full potential because those features are amazing. But the thing is, I often just don't feel the need for them. The OM5 fits perfectly into my style of photography without those features. But on the other hand, it's very nice to know that I have them for whenever I need them. I have used many of them. Story AF is something I want to use in the future and try out. So what has it been like owning and using the OM5 for a year? With one word, reliable. It's been my main camera for everything, from landscapes to spontaneous street photography. It's the kind of camera that just works. Perfect for travel photography. Let's not forget about the lenses. The 12-45 has been a perfect match to the camera. That will say until I got my Lumix 20mm. But I've used this lens for 90% of my shooting so far. And it's a fantastic lens that fits the camera super good. But again, I've been experimenting a lot with this lens and I've grown to love primes. So I want to get a 17mm as well, and maybe one wider as well, 28mm full frame equivalent. So a 14mm on the camera for, yeah, I have a project maybe that I maybe need a little bit wider. Let's see if I bring that up later. But yeah, the Lumix 20mm is my favorite lens right now. But whatever lens I've paired this camera with, it has just delivered. It has never been a problem. So is the OM5 the most disappointing camera in the world? Not for me. I mean, sure, it's not perfect. I mean, USB-C would be the biggest thing here, I would say, because it's such a new camera. 2021, I think it came out, so it should have USB-C. And even though I have 2 batteries, I'm never afraid to go out with just 1 battery and the camera for a whole day out, because if you just turn it off, it's no issue. For what I do, documentary style photography, casual street shots, it's been an absolute joy to use. And after a year with the camera, I'm just as excited as I was the first day I got it. So the plan for 2025 is to continue using this camera as my main. Unless I get rich, I will probably get a Fujifilm or a Leica. I'm also excited to try out some more primes, especially the 17, and I will see if I can get my hands on a 14mm of something also. So yeah, I'd say the OM5 is doing just fine. If you've been using the OM5 or are thinking about buying it, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and consider subscribing. I appreciate it so much. I'm also selling my presets, which you can find down in the description here. So if my style is something you're interested in, they are $3, will not go up, will not go down. And something I forgot to mention in the how I edit my photos video is that any updates I do to the presets, I will send out for free to those who bought the presets without you having to do anything. It will come through an email and I will just say like a few lines, here's the new version and stuff like that. So you got the option to try them out as well. Anyways, have a good day or evening whenever you're watching this. Let's push this channel even further in 2025. Out.